Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare. So settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, glad to have you here. Oh look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee.
You sure? It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you? I am feeling exhausted. I am exhausted. I've been working on building a pavilion for the past 5 days straight, and I've really enjoyed being out of the house. We have fantastic weather. It's been fantastic weather. And I've enjoyed being away from the computer and doing something physical, but now I am tired. It's been 5 days. It's still not done. So here I am, tired, but here, and man, I've got to catch up. So welcome to my home, welcome to the office, and welcome to the morning grind. So great to see everybody this morning. Yes, and as Robert says, happy Easter. It is Easter here. So hope everybody is doing well. So tomorrow I am supposed to play Dungeons and Dragons with the nephews, which means that Wednesday we will probably do a recap of that game. And one of the things I've got to do this afternoon is finish up all these cards we were talking about, or at least the ones that are going to be critical for tomorrow. And stuff like that. But I really like to be able to get some of these injury cards on the table. Is it a Dread Pavilion? It feels that way after... it is also 420. Yes, it is. Oh, great intro vibes. Yes, thank you, Bio. It feels like a Dread Pavilion after we've been fighting with it for this while. It's at the height is at the tip, you know, at the crest, it's 16 feet tall. So it's also not a small pavilion. All right. Hey, let's see what's going on. I have been working with some different video generations in the evenings. Oh no, one of the things. Well, I did that a little bit the other day, but I did go and see Warfare last night. So I was working on the pavilion all day yesterday, and then decided just immediately go and watch Warfare at Sable Phoenix's the Titter Pig Rancher at the Titter Pig Rancher's recommendation and also Doug's recommendation. Took off and went to watch Warfare, and I've got to, if I can put that on the list right now, is to make up that table talk. We have not had a table talk in a while because I've been doing other things, and probably will continue to do other things, but I need to put right here to make table talk Warfare thumbnail for Tuesday night. Paulie from Latino Slant is also interested in being there. So it's probably going to be kind of an old school, large group of people discussion, potentially large group of people discussion on Warfare. I did really enjoy it. It was extremely intense. And actually somebody, did they say that in the Discord server? Was that you, Titterpig, that said that it only has a 2-week run in theaters? If you like war movies, then I would go and see this one. I went in completely cold. The Titterpig Rancher and Doug had said it was fantastic, and they've been to see it several times. I didn't even watch a trailer. I didn't look up anything about it. I just decided to go. And I think I'd heard something else about it. Now, I've got to look into the relationship between this movie, Civil War, because I think at one time I was confused about what movie it was. So there was some kind of movie, Civil War, that was done by the same director. Now there's this. So, okay, so there we go. So Titterpig says that's correct. Need to see it before Thursday if you're going to go see it. It'll be out of theaters on Thursday for some reason, which is a real shame. I guess that's the way that we go in today's world, that things, you know, splash into the theater and then splash out, because this one would probably have legs, as they say, because it's probably getting word of mouth. I didn't hear about it advertised. I mean, so many people didn't hear about this movie being advertised, and then it's just gotten word of mouth traction. It's told unlike any other type of movie like this that I've seen, and it's a lower budget movie. I looked it up later after I got out, and it was only $20 million. So it's only a $20 million movie, and I can understand why, like, if you were trying to get some gigantic budget to make a movie like this, that it wouldn't have been done, because, you know, we talk about storytelling quite a bit on the Table Talk channel. I know there's some crossover here. It's not told it doesn't have a traditional kinds of, especially Hollywood story structure to go along with it. So very interesting. I still think I like, it reminds me a lot of Black Hawk Down, and I still think I like Black Hawk Down more. So I'm a huge fan of Black Hawk Down, but it kind of reminds me of that movie in a lot of ways. Probably does to other people as well. I'm gonna look up if I can. I got a lot to do over the next 48 hours, including prepping and playing Dungeons and Dragons. But see what other people are saying about it too, because it probably reminds a lot of people of that too. I still think I like Black Hawk Down a little bit better. That was one of the most intense movie experiences I've ever had, Black Hawk Down. But this one is second. This one is definitely second, I think. So yeah, so if you want to see it tonight, tomorrow, whatever, then on Tuesday night we will talk about it and have a great discussion if you want to see it in advance. Okay, let's breathe and sip. And I'll show you these right here. I did find these cards. Let's breathe and sip. Let's take 2 deep breaths, and then complete exhales. And then we'll take a sip of our favorite beverage this morning. So let's go. Let's breathe. And breathe. And sip. There we go. Hey, I did find, before we talk about our injury cards, the Pathfinder. I found my Pathfinder cards. I knew I had some. So this is the Pathfinder Adventurer card deck right here. Pathfinder Adventurer card deck. And I was trying to remember, hey, I mean, because I like gear cards. I like cards and I like gear, but I remember that we didn't really like this deck all that much when we were looking at it. And I was like, so what was wrong with this deck? Well, what's wrong with this deck? Even though it has a lot of useful information on it, the back of it has the picture of what it is. So this is like the lesser anti-plague potion or something right here. Anti-plague can fortify the body's defenses against disease. Okay, so on the back, it's got the picture of the card, of whatever it is. And then on the front, it's got all of your information. And look at all that space that's there on the card. There's a lot of space that's there on the card. It's got, well, all of your information, which I do like. It's not particularly laid out in any particularly amazing way. Like lesser anti-plague says it's got the alchemical, consumable, and elixir tag. I have to look all that. Item 1 too. Like whatever item 1 means. This is the minor elixir of life right here. Minor elixir of life. It says like alchemical, consumable, elixir, and healing. Price 3 gold coins. Usage held in one hand, bulk L, which means light. Activate, interact. Elixirs of life accelerate the life's natural healing and processes and immune system. Upon drinking this elixir, you gain 1d8 hit points and gain +1 item bonus to saving throws against disease and poisons for 10 minutes. I really wish that it had the what the card is supposed to be, the item is supposed to be on the front. Because that's how it's going to be sitting down on the table right in front of you. And all you have is this text. And you don't even have, the picture of what it is. Like how often you be looking at the picture of what it is? Like this seems to be like you need the item, like just a standard item card back, on the back. We were talking about how to design kind of item cards. So lots of great information here. And there are, in several cases, multiple of the same card, which is good because somebody might have the same item. Some decks, I think, have one, of a single item, intending that to be like a reference for the whole table. But I like cards that will go to each, individual player. But so I guess that's why. I mean, they put like that card has a lot of text on it. And this disguise kit, they decided to go the route where, man, okay, we just have a bunch of small font here on the back. So. We did talk about that too. Do you put everything on the card or do you put some type of just enough information to kind of remind yourself of what's going on? And then I do have, so we're talking about conditions, and I'll probably take these over to play with the boys tomorrow. I do have condition cards, which I believe we looked at. So like there's Clumsy right there. So the Pathfinder condition cards. Like Clumsy, take a status penalty equal to the value on all dexterity-based checks, DCs, such as armor class, reflex saves, dexterity-based rolls, and any checks to acrobatics, stealth, and thievery. So it does have, and I guess these are okay. They're double-sided. They just have the same thing on both sides. So these seem to be rather practical. I mean, and that works. I mean, that's okay. Confused. You're flat-footed. Don't treat anyone as your ally and can't use reactions, delay, or ready. All your actions are determined by the game master. You can use your actions to attack or cast offensive cantrips. Anyway, attack indiscriminately, DC 11, whatever. So it tells you what it is. There's a lot of text there. So I guess these are okay. Encumbered. Probably need that one. I do think I ordered. The conditions are serviceable for the purposes of the game. I think the item cards could definitely have been better. The conditions are serviceable. I ordered. There are 2 RPGs I want to check out, and I ordered them. Or I ordered one of them the other day. Torchbearer. So I wanted to look for a good inventory system. It seems like Torchbearer often comes up. One inventory system to adapt is Pathfinder. I mean, I kind of like what's going on with Pathfinder, but I want to take a look at Pathfinder and I want to take a look at Torchbearer for its inventory system, then probably come up with something there. And then I do want to take a look at Dragonbane. Haven't ordered that one yet, but Torchbearer is on its way. Oh, and we still do have, is that down here? I almost looked at this one this morning, but I'm exhausted, man. We have this thing right here. Ah! That is still to look at too. The Land of Eam RPG, man, this is quite a product right here. That's quite a product. So, all right, let's go over here. Hey, good morning, Better with Bacon. We were talking about Warfare earlier. You gotta go see it. Yep. Okay, so let me go over here. I don't think we had actually pulled stuff over into Illustrator yet. And we might go a little bit short today because I've got a bunch of things to do. But let's go over here. So I believe somebody at the end, and like as I was closing out, I realized in the comments was like, yeah, this is kind of fun trying to get ChatGPT to generate the card for us. But it is kind of an exercise in just understanding what the current state of like AI layout is. I mean, that's not terrible. I still think we could do something better than that, you know, as far as a layout goes. But that's got the information there, like for these grievous wounds. But I still think it needs a bit more. It needs to look more interesting on the table. I don't want you to have, you know, I like cards, but I don't want you to have a whole bunch of cards that are just a whole bunch of text. How many of these am I going to need to experiment with them with the game? I think that we had the most difficulty talking about light wounds. Let me see if can I not zoom in on this anymore for you. That was not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I think that the solution is definitely to put these into Illustrator and then maybe in design if you got to use cards that way. By the time, yeah, I know. I don't use Canva. Okay, so and that's what PH was talking about last time, that it's supposed to be integrated with Canva or something. So the problem we found out, I believe, is that I'm using the ChatGPT inside the Mac. Standalone app, and that might not allow it to interface with Canva or something. And I don't know anything about Canva, but apparently you have to be in the browser-based system to interact with Canva or something like that. So I don't think we had a problem with our, like, can we get, and there's still a question about what our damage types are going to be. Because there has been great successful argument about how you heal things like fire, cold, and acid. I heard everybody who was saying that because those are very similar to what they do to cells, healing them is very often the same. To me, that's a very strong argument to be that, like, healing magic, if you're using this system, or healing different kinds of healing systems, should be able to heal fire, cold. You know, if it can heal one, it can probably heal the others. If it can heal fire, it can heal acid or cold or something like that. But from this perspective right here, I think it's that, okay, what are you gonna want to read, and what's going to be fun to read? I think that reading different fire descriptions, reading different cold descriptions, even if the end result of the cell is the same, the effect of fire or cold or acid or something is going to be different physically from the outside during the game. And especially, I'm thinking about my nephews. It would be fun to read the different descriptions of fire or cold. So Bio says, have you considered using baseball card sheet pages that can fit 9 baseball cards on either side that fit into a binder and giving each player a binder? And this way they have to organize. I hadn't thought about that specifically. I have seen people using the binders that are just basically 1 card wide to organize. Well, people have been organizing Hero Quest cards with them and spells and things like that. But the baseball card sheet, that would be reasonable for inventory, wouldn't it? What kind of inventory have you got? I've been putting the cards in individual sleeves, but you could give players one of those 9-card sheets, not 9-card holders, and say, here's your inventory. And they might get to that. So that, that might be an easy way to do it. Because if you just need, I'll think about that. Especially for inventory that might not be changing that much, like what's in your backpack and stuff. Okay, so we did not like the light wounds. They were too light. In fact, let's tell it that. And let's see if we can come up with like 10 different cards. Based on light wounds. Okay, I have a problem. Let's tell it this. I have a problem with the light wounds. They are too light. Because raises the tender goose egg like we talked about. Like that happens like when I'm walking around at night at the house and I bump into something. I might get a tender goose egg, or I might raise a tender goose egg. This is still something that an orc is supposed to be doing to you. So I have a problem with the light wounds. They're too light. Remember, let's do it this way. Remember that the normal man only has 6 hit points. A light wound is 1 or 2 of them. So likely a light wound would cause a normal man who is not used to combat to rethink being in the fight and retreat. Or probably. Or so it is. I'll say it's rather likely. Let's rewrite this card with that in mind. So I gave it back our light wound. It talks about the tender goose egg. Let's see. I wanted to swap over to 4.5. So now it says bludgeoning. A brutal crack numbs the limb and sends pain surging up the shoulder. Piercing. The point slides deep enough to draw a steady trickle, sharp, sudden, and alarming. Slashing. The blade opens a shallow but bloody line that stings and weakens your grip. Fire. A blistering lash of heat reddens the skin and leaves you gasping from the pain. Cold. The strike bites to the bone, leaving your flesh pale, stiff, and aching with each motion. Okay, those are better. Mike says, I think coming up with wounds that are the right sort of light is a tough thing. I can't think of an example to give it without breaching more significant wounds territory. Yeah, that one is probably the hardest one. I agree. This is better. And I'm going to edit some of these too, because a brutal crack. Okay, let's not say brutal, but the crack numbs the limb. The crack of the weapon numbs the limb and sends pain surging up through the shoulder. Okay, I mean, that would be enough to notice. We're not talking about getting foot blisters and, bumping into the coffee table at night. Okay, let's generate. That sounds like a good start. Let's generate 10 of these cards. And we're using 4.5 for this. Let's see what it says. Meanwhile, while it's thinking about that, I might be able to come over here and oh, I'm beach balled on Illustrator. Here we go. Okay, injuries. Oh, we got 9. I got a page here with 9. Light wound. Okay, it looks like it's generating. Okay, all right, so let's see what it says. So, okay, here are 10 unique light wound cards at the severity level that you've indicated. A blow sends a painful shockwave through your bones, leaving your hand shaky and numb. Piercing, the punch stings deeply, dripping blood that distracts your attention. Slashing, a shallow slash bleeds freely and burns sharply, making you reconsider your next move. Fire, a searing burn, sends needles of pain across reddened skin at the slightest motion. This is working. It's naming all of these pain, like that's called painful reminder. Light wound 2, unwelcome mark. A sharp poke leaves a steady trickle of blood, each drop draining your confidence. Flame scald, a raw, blistering patch, each heartbeat intensifying to the sting. Warning blow. A sudden cut burns fiercely, making your grip slippery and hesitant. Yeah, because if this happens, okay, so I'd say this is pretty reasonable. Let's see if we can put these into Illustrator in some way. Let's use light wound. I'll take this down and we go over to Illustrator. Can't share more than one thing at a time. Okay, so this is light wound right here. Oh, I didn't actually put it up. There we go. So can we put this on a card? Let's find out. Okay, I think that's it. That is, here, I'll zoom in a bit. We got to be able to tell how many hit points this is worth, though. Let's go. I'm using a lot of space here. Let's get rid of that. So bludgeoning. Whoop. Piercing. Slashing. Fire. Okay, and that is 12 points. Okay, let's see what happens if we drop it down to 10-point font. I don't want to go any less than that. But can 10-point font get the whole thing on here? Maybe we can't have 5 different types of conditions. Maybe the thing to do is to, of course, I don't really like the different types. There are only so many cards you can have on the table at the same time. So maybe the thing is to have bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing cards, and then have another set that is, fire, cold, ice, acid, something like that. Because we do have to say, we have to have some kind of way to indicate how many hit points this is worth. And we talked about doing that with a dry erase marker if you have these laminated or something. So let's say we got 1 point here, and then 2 point here. Maybe we need like a drop of blood or something in there to make it look better. And then you want to be able to check as well what is in which one of these you actually received. Let's see. There's probably a way in here to use hyphenation. Maybe we're going to need hyphenated cards. Bio says maybe it would be better just to have 2 categories of wounds rather than 3, just something like heavy and light. Well, right now we've got light, medium, or moderate. I forget which one we said. We said light, medium, and heavy, and then grievous. So there are 4 different types of wounds. And that was based on the idea that a normal man, using like old school thought, that a normal man would have 6 hit points. And so heavy wounds typically kill normal men, but something like a fighter would have 8, maybe the barbarians got 10. So those kinds of characters could take grievous wounds. Or wound and heavy wound. Well, the card is giving the flavor. Because, in this case, I want the card to give the flavor because, right, this one doesn't have a mechanical effect other than the loss of the hit points. So this is why you're losing 1 or 2. But then, it is having, you're right. This is for role-playing a flavor. So this is your information that's telling you something about what happened to you, rather than having to make that up at the table. I'm trying to keep you from having to make it up at the table. I do need, isn't there a checkbox emoji? I could start with that. No, ballot box. Ballot box. What this was called. Ballot box emoji. And I'm intending for this to be used with a vitality wounds system. So if you're just losing vitality, you wouldn't draw a card. Well, that's not right. But what we're going to need is some type of check here. And I do think you could probably do the basic set of this with 1 deck of cards, because I was trying to think if you got 4 different wound thresholds, different types, and you got a standard 52 card deck of cards, you can probably have a pretty reasonable spread. You'd need more light wounds, I think. I think you'd get some kind of distribution going to it rather than just the same number of each one. Because you should be drawing lower numbers of wounds more than the higher types of wounds. Bludgeoning. So it might look something like that. And this needs to be bolded. Semi-bold, let's go bold. Bludgeoning. There's not a lot of room on this card. Let me see if I can figure out how to do hyphenation in Illustrator. Hyphenation text in Illustrator. Select hyphenate in the paragraph panel. I got the paragraph panel right here. Oh, hyphenate. That did not look like it did it. I have hyphenate checked though. This may end up taking more time than to have everything ready by tomorrow. I have to really adjudicate what I want to have ready for tomorrow. And I did order poker chips, but being Easter and everything like that, I bet they're not going to get here. I ordered poker chips for the gold, and I ordered gold and silver and copper spray paint. So we would actually have those. But might not have them. So we're just going to have to focus on what I can add to the game tomorrow. And I'd like to spend a little bit more time with the adventure itself. So when you're talking about, like, what really needs to happen, I really need to make sure I know the adventure very well. We read through it, but it would be nice to at least spot read through it again and listen to some of the CD stuff, because this one also has the CD bold. Yeah, well, another thing we might. Oh, I think the. Well, okay, that did it. I adjusted the spacing between the lines, so the spacing between the lines was still at 10 and 12, or 12 points when I adjusted down to 10. So now I'm at 10 and 10. So 10 does fit this on the card. I want to be sure. Right now I'm just using the spaces to move those over, but I need to be able to set some kind of stop or something so that the card, everything actually lines up well on the card. Slashing fire. So that does work. I'm going to finish this just so that we look like we can kind of see something here. Cold. So I can fit 5 kinds on this card. I do, one of the things I was thinking about this system quite a bit the other day, and I do like. I don't know what's going on there. There's a lot that I like about it, because we were starting to add conditions to the upper level cards. Because you're right, this is the kind of the flavor right here. This is just flavor. We're not telling you something mechanical about, okay, now you've gotten some kind of condition. And in some games you should, or you could. But the issue here is also that I don't like the death spiral. It doesn't seem right for the different kinds of games. So by allowing you to take multiple light wounds with no significance to the character as far as the, as far as a mechanical effect beyond the loss of hit points goes, you're not in a death spiral. And when it actually matters, when you receive a heavy wound, then something actually happens to you. So that just incorporates both, is what I'm saying. Because if you just had, okay, you light wound, here's your mechanical effect, whatever, you would get into the death spiral kind of thing. Light wound, here is your flavor by what actually happened to you. I could probably also move this up. And then once you are actually taking larger wounds, then something happens to you. Because would you rather take 4 points of damage from 4 light wounds or 1 moderate wound? You'd rather take it from 4 light wounds, which seems reasonable. And there's actually a mechanical reason for that here. Word wrap, Robert's asking. Word wrap in Illustrator. That's type on path. I don't think that's. I don't think word wrap might not be exactly what we're looking for here. Can we change this over to a different font? Okay, there we go. And that needs to be like 14 point. This is 15 point. You check which one you've got. Or maybe there's not enough let's see if I do this. Oh, nope, I'm still not hyphenating. Yeah, the format is going to take a while. But we've proven that it does work. Something like that would be good enough for tomorrow. But it wouldn't be good enough to actually send to a printer. And we would need some type of background. Need some kind of cool background. I do like the scroll types of backgrounds. I've been using, of course, they use them now in the Hero Quest re-release, but I've been using scroll type of backgrounds ever since I like designing cards like this, ever since I were in elementary school. Let's see. So that works, although it sure would, like, we've got a little bit more space. As long as we have it on all of them to do something kind of cool looking, I think. You do have this space for some type of flourish or something like that, or some type of decoration on the scroll or something like that. A lot of work. This is probably violating the idea about what's the least you can do to get the game going on, but fun. Let's go over here and let's go back over. Whoop. So let's do minimal effective prep. This is not. In fact, it only makes sense to do if you were eventually going to get them printed. I mean, we're deep into game design here. Hey, all right, let's give me the moderate wounds. Or just 5. Give me 5 different moderate wound cards for wounds of 3 or 4 points when a normal man has 6 points of damage. I have a feeling that people are going to be carving through people pretty fast here, especially as we go along and adjust like how fighters fight, which I'm okay with. Like, I like the fast combats. And I bet that capable fighters are going to start putting people down pretty fast, which I would rather have than capable fighters being, wearing down people's hit points for turn after turn or round after round after round. So here are 5 unique moderate wound cards, each carefully scaled so that 3 to 4 points of damage would clearly frighten or disable a normal person. Bludgeoning, the strike lands solidly, cracking ribs and leaving breathing difficult and painful. Piercing, a deep stab pierces muscle, blood welling up quickly, making each motion agonizing. Slashing, flesh is sliced deeply, spilling hot blood and making your limbs shake uncontrollably. Fire, a vicious burn scorches a wide area, the blistering skin raw and searing with constant pain. Those sound pretty good. Bone bruises deeply from the forceful blow, muscles spasming painfully. The sharp thrust sinks deep, bleeding freely, each movement intensifying the hurt. And bleeding is the big problem. Bio says, love that so far. What's the font? So the fonts that we are using for the heading is Uncial Antiqua. This is UNCIAL. And then down here, we are using, it's called Crimson. So Crimson and Unisol Antiqua. And actually, that was the recommendation from ChatGPT. Now, I'm wondering if that should change colors. That could become a brown on if it's got this like the parchment texture behind it. You could make that like a brown kind of color. There's not a lot of room for an image on that. Well, on the other hand, I could move over check what type of box, what type of wound this is. Instead of leaving that in the middle, I could slide that over to the far left. And then that would leave a greater space for a really thin type of illustration, but it would leave greater space for some type of thin illustration over there. I'll have to see how that looks. Hey, good morning, BGD. Happy Easter. All right. Well, I don't know what there else is to say this morning. I've got a lot to do today, including working on this. So probably Wednesday we will have a report for the brothers there for my nephews, their brothers playing. There is a lot that I have got to go and do, including working on this and including just getting some stuff done because I've been working on that pavilion for hours and hours and hours the past 5 days. So I think we're going to leave that here this morning. I will see what I can do, and I'm going to make up some additional cards over here. We'll see if anything shows up at the house. I will let you know how it goes, and then we'll show off all the cards maybe Wednesday. So have a wonderful day. I will see you later. Happy Easter. See you all later. Go forth, be creative, be constructive, and make great things happen.